The Rise of Skywalker is set to introduce over 8 new characters in this story that will be used in a way in order to benefit many of the characters like Kylo Ren and Rey, as well as others by director J.J. Abrams. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. So what's really great about Episode 9 is that we do know that Palpatine is going to be a main focus in this film. Ever since the release of the official teaser trailer over at Star Wars Celebration, it left a lot of fans really interested and intrigued about what's coming our way by Abrams and exactly what he's going to do with the character of Darth Sidious in this movie. And honestly guys, I gotta say, I think that Palpatine's return in Episode 9 really is the driving force for the hype of Episode 9. I really do believe that. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the plans by Disney, Lucasfilm, JJ, and crew, and one of the set leaks, this is where things begin to get very intriguing for Episode 9. Now, specifically, what's really exciting is that it's described that one of the sequences that were shot during the month of January over in Cardington involved both Daisy Ridley, Adam Driver, and Ian McDiarmid, where it's described to be a vital scene for the third act of the film. It's described that Ian McDiarmid was next to an unnamed actor in black Sith robes, delivering dialogue as Darth Sidious, where it's said that Palpatine has a dark and sinister plan in place for Kylo Ren within the third act, where he convinces Kylo to tap into the dark side further, that will guide him to a path full of new dark side powers that nobody would be able to compete with. However, it's said that within Palpatine's mind, he has a master plan that he is not telling Kylo, and that it is to take control of Kylo Ren's body as his next vessel, since the Skywalker blood is the strongest. It's revealed that Palpatine even had plans to infiltrate Luke Skywalker's body some years after the events of Episode 6. However, Luke was not affiliated with the dark side enough to the point where his spirit will be able to fuse, and so he kept his eyes on Kylo Ren for years on end. However, in the meantime, it's described he took control of the Dark Acolyte for the time being, until the time was right to fight Kylo Ren and eventually fuse with his body. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, we heard about this lightly, I would say, a couple of weeks ago, that the whole entire story between Palpatine and Kylo Ren is really going to all be about Palpatine's spirit / the spirit of Sidious within the third act of Episode 9. Now, Palpatine's big plan in this movie really is going to be a big focus within the third act by Abrams. Now, him taking over Kylo Ren's body is a very interesting aspect of Episode 9. Something that fans have never really seen before on the big screen, and this was a big thing, by the way, back in the 1990s with the comics in the Dark Empire comic line, where Darth Sidious was able to use the power of essence transfer. So in case you guys are completely unfamiliar with essence transfer, it's basically the ability to transfer one's consciousness into another body or a clone or whatever have you. In the Dark Empire comic line, in that case, Palpatine was basically able to transfer his essence into other younger clones of himself, where in this scenario he transfers his spirit over into a younger body that is, of course, the Dark Acolyte, where the main and master plan by Darth Sidious is to take over Kylo Ren's body at a certain point in time in this film. So not only is this very much like The Exorcist, I will say that this is also Abrams' way of really using a lot of different elements in a Star Wars movie that fans had never seen before on the big screen. And I will tell you guys, it changes it up quite a bit. It really does. I mean, when have we ever seen something like this in a Star Wars movie, right? So this really raises the bar to something else entirely new when it comes to Force powers and what a Sith is really able to do after death. And at the end of the day, this is the best way to really bring the prequels, the originals, and the sequels all together, because having Sidious being the main villain in Episode 9 just makes a lot of sense, because, well, he was a villain in the shadows for the most part in the prequels, where he eventually unveiled himself in Episode 3. He was a main villain, pretty much directly in the originals, and now he's going to be, once again, a villain that was in the shadows in Episodes 7 and 8 that will unveil himself in Episode 9. So I really like the parallels. I like how Palpatine is back in this film. Even more, I like the fact that Ian McDiarmid will be voicing the character in Episode 9, not just in the form of a vision or a hologram or whatever have you, but actually coming back to life in some way, shape, or form. So Palpatine's big plan here is something massive, something that fans have never seen or expected to see in a Star Wars movie. Now, we also heard from other previous leaks that eventually the spirit of Sidious does indeed take over Kylo's body, but it's not 100% successful, so it's going to be very interesting to see exactly how this all plays out on the big screen, and what it's really going to look like once it's all executed in front of the audience. I gotta tell you guys, I think that this is very vital that J.J. Abrams gets this done correctly, where it's not going to come off as cheesy or anything around those lines. Anyways guys, drop a comment below, let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.